Well, what do we have here? Apparently, like right after I posted a video yesterday, this news had broke. And I wanted to wait and fall back a little bit before I said anything about it because there was a time where the Chicago Bears, basically had told the media and everybody else that they were going to hire Dave McGinnis as head coach of the Chicago Bears. And all of a sudden, that whole thing falls through and didn't happen. The whole nation became the laughing stock of the league. So as I got off yesterday, news started to break by Adam Schefter that the Bears were finalizing a deal to hire Ben Johnson. And as of right now, he hasn't signed a contract yet. So I'm still, as far as I know, he hasn't literally signed the contract yet. I don't think. There's not really but it's looking like he's gonna sign with the Bears, and I've seen some Lions fans that's all up in their feelings, like, oh, he's such a traitor, he's such a Benedict Arnold, he's this, he's that, he's trash, he's this, he's that. Well, if he's trash, then you guys should be glad that we're taking the trash off your hands, like the little girl in Poltergeist. They're here. In the case of Ben Johnson, he's here. Coming through the TV on the NFC North Division. Him and Caleb Williams going to capture the minds and hearts of Bears fans. It is a great day that we are finally entering into the modern day NFL. And I know there's still a lot of you classic fans out there that don't care about quarterbacks. You don't care about offense. You just run the ball, pound the ball, defense, run the ball, pound the ball, defense. Doesn't matter who your coach is, which is kind of weird. I mean, coaches matter. Having a good coach matters. Having a good quarterback matters. You think the Kansas City Chiefs would be in the middle of a dynasty right now if they didn't have good coaching and a franchise quarterback? Do you honestly believe that Kansas City Chief machine, that juggernaut, and even though the last couple years they haven't played like just dominating, step on your neck, wearing cleats, moonwalking all the way down the street with pieces of your neck particles in their cleats, even though they haven't been smashing teams like that, they know how to win. They know when to turn it on, how to turn it on. They know how to pierce the weaknesses of whatever opponent they're playing. The opponent they're playing might be, that opponent's strength might be the Chiefs' weakness. So what do the Chiefs do? Okay, well, let's find your weaknesses and let's pick at that and see what we can do. And the brilliance of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, they're not going to lay it out on Front Street. Like, they're not going to put too much of it on film for you to be able to plan for it. They're going to study you, and they're going to trade blows with you throughout the game. And then critical points during the game, they're going to pierce the weaknesses of their opponent from the offensive side of the ball. They'll have you thinking you got them on a 3 and out for 3 consecutive drives. They're basically sizing you up. That's the brilliance of coaching, planning, preparing, studying game film. And I think that the Bears have found a guy like that to grow with Caleb Williams and mold this team into the winner, the eventual Super Bowl winner that it's capable of being. And how many times has Chicago teams as a whole, anybody that has grown up in Chicago, grown up fans of Chicago teams, how many times has key free agents, whether it's a player or a coach that everybody wants, how many times have Chicago teams failed and fell short being able to bring in the person that they want? So obviously, in this case with Ben Johnson, any team out there that wanted and was looking for a head coach, they had their eyes on Ben Johnson. They wanted Ben Johnson, but they didn't have the setup that the Bears have as far as top, got some first round draft picks, got a lot of salary cap space, and have Caleb Williams as the franchise quarterback on his rookie deal. Everything just sized up perfectly. The whole scenario just fell right into place. And Ben Johnson, it's widely believed around the league that if the Bears had fired Matt Eberflus last year, Ben Johnson would have taken that job last year. That whole dynamic, I didn't know, I couldn't remember which one happened first. Did Ben Johnson come out first and saying, you know what, I'm going to go back to Detroit because we got some unfinished business? Or did Ryan Poles come out and make the announcement, hey, we're sticking with Matt Eberflus? I couldn't remember the sequence. I'm starting to think that Ryan Poles came out and said he was sticking with Eberflus first, and that prompted Ben Johnson to say, you know what, well, screw it. I'm going to go back to Detroit. We got some unfinished business to take care of anyway. So I'm leaning towards that, But it's a pretty happy day if you love football, if you love the Bears. All these years we probably had a top offense maybe one time, maybe the Jay Cutler year when we went to the NFC Championship game and lost to Green Bay. I think Eric Kramer, before he got hurt, I think we had one of the top-ranked offenses in the league that year. And, that could have been a promising year, too, because we was rolling that year. But very rarely, the whole ideology of the Bears organization has always been defense and running the football. And don't get me wrong, those aspects of NFL football, it's always going to be important. You always have to have that. But at the same time, a lot of people tend to neglect the offensive side of the ball. You tend to neglect having a good quarterback. You tend to neglect having good coaching. You can't leave that out. And the Bears as an organization they've neglected having a good offensive line too. That's an Achilles heel of this organization. And hopefully Ben Johnson will have some say-so over the offensive line, because he knows as well as anybody that you need a good offensive line to run any kind of offense. Running the ball, you listen to what Jim Harbaugh said when somebody asked him, what is he going to do to help Herbert? What are you going to do to help Justin Herbert? He said, I'm gonna get him a running game. In order to get a running game, you got to have a good offensive line. And then you got to have a good running back with good balance and good vision. And that same running back has to be pretty damn good at pass protection also. Because if he's not, then all of a sudden, like, oh, okay, I gotta take him out, put somebody else in, tip them off, because the opposing defense is gonna be like, oh, okay, he's, the running back going out. That means they about to throw. Get you a solid running back that can stay in all 4 downs. Now you talking about something. Now I don't know who's gonna be available at 10. I kind of like that. What's his name with I think he's a Haitian brother. I think his name is Jonty. Pretty good running back, like 5'9", like 216 pounds. He's solid. So he's built low to the ground, and he's stout and he's strong. So Get him in here, draft him, get him in here, get some practicing under his belt, get him solid in pass protection because he can obviously run the ball. And then if he can develop them hands to have some reliable hands, and you got a 4-down back right there who can also help with the running game. I mean, with the passing game. So Caleb not running for his life all the time. You got somebody back there that can lay a linebacker out. So I like the direction we're going in. The Bears got the guy that they wanted to get, and this was always in the back of my mind. Like, you know what? This reminds me of leading up to the Caleb Williams draft. I think the Bears have made up their mind a long time ago, and all this other stuff is smoke and mirrors. This is like with all the coaches. They had me doing a double take and thinking like, hold up, do they even know the coach they want? I mean, they interviewing like 30 people. And now you see, as soon as the Lions were eliminated from the playoffs, the Bears basically revealed their hand. Ryan Poles started to move swiftly, and for all intents and purposes, they got their guy, Ben Johnson, the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. It's a great day for Bear football, ladies and gentlemen, because not only did the Bears get Ben Johnson, but simultaneously they've weakened a division rival. A team that beat us twice this year, a team that won the division, went to the playoffs. We directly weakened them also by taking their number one prized asset in Ben Johnson. So their offense is going to take a step back because the new guy going to come in and there's going to be an adjustment period. And for all we know, that whoever they bring in there might suck. We could have a hand in destroying the Detroit Lions because it won't take long for Dan Campbell to be on that hot seat. It doesn't take long for coaches because this was a disappointing season for them. They had a lot of injuries and all that, but last year they went to the NFC Championship game. This year they got knocked out in the first playoff game they played. So, you know, we could put a hand in that next year by rubbing their face in it. Because over the years they've always had a hard time beating us anyway. We've always had, just like the Packers have always had the Bears number, the Bears have always had the Lions number up until recently. And now we've taken their ultimate weapon away from them. They're going to take a step back, whether they want to admit it or not, whether they know it or not. And we just going to slide up in the rankings. We could have beaten Minnesota too. We should have beaten the Packers twice. So, you know, the Bears, we in a pretty good position right now. So, bear down. Chicago Bears is coming. We got Ben Johnson. Yo, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Share this video because Ben Johnson, he's here.